Hello and welcome. And today is a bit special. I get the chance to sit down with one of the true icons in greyhound racing. Neil Brown has worn more hats than most people in this game, from a Hall of Famer to a chairman, trainer, race caller. He's done it all. And now we get the chance to have a chat to him in a museum that's named in his honour. Brownie, welcome.
Thanks, Jason. A very flattering introduction indeed. Yes, it's been a long journey and one I've enjoyed very much.
Why greyhound racing? I mean, we've known you as being a part of it forever, but how did it all start?
Oh, about a 15-year-old kid waiting to purchase finals tickets, camped out overnight at the MCG, and my mate and I, he suggested we go to Olympic Park, and I was instantly hooked that night. The crowd, the excitement of the racing, and really enjoyed the night. And of course, I lived a mile and a half from here at Sandown Park, so I made the journey down. My mother thought I was learning the ballroom dance, but I did a left-hand turn and came down Lightwood Road every Thursday night, and just loved it from that point on, and just got more and more involved as the time went on.
And this venue of which we're at now, Sandown, this is your backyard. So from start to finish, I'm sure you've got a lot of memories, but what are some of the earliest ones that you've got?
I think being here, 44 bookmakers, packed house, we had big crowds. Back in my time, late 60s into the 70s, it was very, very popular. And I just think the atmosphere of being here, and I couldn't get enough of it. I loved reading about it, and I thought the dogs were spectacular to watch race, and just enjoyed being around the track.
And what about the historian part of it all? I mean, for years you've been known as just about Mr. Greyhound Racing from a history point of view. You've launched your website, we're in your museum now, which we'll speak about later on in the chat, but why? What drove your passion and love to keep the history of it all?
I did get very passionate about it, and I think I must have some sort of historical gene in me, Jason. I collected everything, the articles that were written, magazines, I'd buy everything, and I just never threw anything out. I'm quite a hoarder. If you saw my garage at home... I was
just about to ask, what is your lovely life, man? Do you think about all this storage?
Well, so we've been together for a long, long time, almost 50 years married, and she's put up with the hoarding and the garage absolutely full of stuff, apart from when there was the kennels there when we trained. And yes, I just collected, and I must have had in the back of my mind that it'd be worth using sometime, and as it's turned out, it has.
And it's not just about you keeping all this stuff and sort of looking back on it yourself. As I mentioned before, you got the website, you got a Facebook group. It's the joy that a lot of other people get out of the stuff that you put up, isn't it?
Yeah, I that's a great part of it for me, is it does touch a nerve with lots of people right throughout the country, Australia-wide, and they respond to photographs and stories, and it triggers memories for them, happy memories of their time in greyhound racing. So I think that's a really important part of the historical side of it, isn't it? The joy it does bring to other people.
And a couple of years ago, of course, this museum of which we sit in today was opened and named in your honour. And I guess for you, it's a great platform, isn't it? With all this stuff that you've sort of collated over the years to put it up on the walls in here and let everyone else enjoy it.
Yes, I was quite humbled that the club saw fit to put my name on it. And it was an idea when Matt Corby was here as CEO that we talked about having a museum. That was more on a national basis then, and it didn't really go anywhere. And we ramped it up when Adrian Scott joined the club, and this was a storeroom, and we thought it looked a good space, and we had a lot of memorabilia, and we just collected more and more. And yeah, with Bernie Dillon, who was a real driving force behind what the place looked like. We've got this, and it's ever evolving, and we're going to expand it, and we've got some very exciting exhibits to come. And it's been a place for people's estates. They've been left with things that they know are valuable, and valuable certainly to people that have been in the sport. And this is a great place for them to store it, and they're very happy for it to make its way here. So that's been great, and we're going to be able to expand it. But we've got two very promising displays. Norm McCulloch, the great Norm McCulloch from Warrnambool, has promised us Bold Teresa's 4 Sandown Cups he won here. He's got them beautifully displayed at home, and Norm is going to donate them to the museum. We've got his rugs upstairs in the Bold Teresa bar, but we'll probably move them back down here with the trophies. And Jan Wheeler has also very, very kindly is going to allow us to immortalise the mighty Fernando Bale. We'll have him in a glass case when he finally goes, but he's such a celebrity. Let's hope he goes for some period of time before he makes his way into our museum. So 2 very exciting exhibits that I'm looking forward to down the track, Jason.
Brandon, we've spoken about your younger years and I guess where it all started from a greyhound racing point of view and how big Sandown has been in your life. But we fast forward to 2001 and you joined the board. So how did that transition happen from someone enjoying greyhound racing to ending up on the board here at Sandown?
Yeah, it was quite an honour to be invited onto the board, and of course I had to stand for election in the same year, 2001. Jeff Dawson invited me on, and look, I'd been doing all sorts of bits and pieces, writing and doing some radio, quite a bit of radio at that stage, and some television with Sky, and I just did a combination of things, and they thought I could add some value. And I was very much a Sandown person. I'd been seen around the place for a long, long time, and so it was a terrific honour for me to join the board from humble beginnings of slipping in the back fence for free to being on the board of directors. So I think it was it just evolved, and I've enjoyed it immensely, and worked with some fantastic directors and greyhound people right up to the present day.
So from 2001, when you joined the board, you then become chairman in 2017. What changed, not only at the club, but I guess the sport in general through that time?
Well, like any sport, and we see it with all sorts of things, it changes, and people's opinions, public opinion changes on different aspects of how sports run, and greyhound racing has changed quite a bit in that period of time, but it still is the essence of what we know it has always been. The animals are first, and it's very much a family orientated pastime. We've got husband and wife teams right throughout Australia. We can't underplay how important women have been in greyhound racing right across the board, and certainly at home. You don't say Calgrino without mentioning Jackie or Jason Thompson and Shona, and this is all over Australia, isn't it? The teams and the people involved, and now the family members come through and are involved in it. But it's very lucrative now if you can find that really smart greyhound. It can win amazing prize money, as we've seen with over $1 million. I think 8 or 9 greyhounds have now won that. So. But it has changed dramatically in what we were used to back in the older days, and I really miss hurdle racing, Jason, very much.
The hurdle racing, the old monkey on the backs, there's plenty of photos of that going around, isn't there?
There is, but it used to be race 1 here at Sandown Park every Thursday night, and you used to be able to find the winner without too much trouble, but I used to think with the hurdles, but very spectacular, and probably that's one aspect we missed, but things evolve and change, don't they?
At the last and Ladybug over it goes away to win at 3 lengths.
And how about here at the club? You would have seen a lot of, a lot of changes from a management point of view and board point of view?
Absolutely. We've been very lucky here at Sandown Park. We've had some really, very, very competent CEOs, from John Stevens to Matt Corby and Jeff Davies, and Greg Miller did a mighty job, a different person, different perspective, and now with Adrian Scott, we've been very, very lucky, and some tremendous board people that really are passionate about their greyhounds. And I never thought I'd see the day when we had a female, a lady on our board, but Vicky Nolan's been a fantastic addition. addition to the board. She's from very much a greyhound family. She knows nothing else, and she's very passionate about it, and she's brought a different perspective. But I'm not sure Henry Harrison may have ever envisaged a female going onto the board at Sandown.
And in the 10 years that I spent here at the club, I mean, it was quite clear there was a strong community involvement, and I understand that goes back for decades, and something you're proud of, to be a part of the club that has such a strong connection with the local community.
Absolutely, Jason, and you know firsthand. I think I'm very proud of the club's position in the community. It goes back to Jack McKenna days, the 40s and the 50s, and right through. Every board has maintained that community involvement with charities, and our alliance with the local RSL club, our Rotary connection, and two very important charities that we're currently involved with. And you know, they look after 2,000 people in the local community. And as you know, Jason, as you were part of it when you worked here, we feed the homeless down in Noble Park every Tuesday, and the staff rotate down there and help out with the food we provide. And it's a community service, and we're held in very high regard. And I think it's fantastic for greyhound racing that we've got that community spirit and have been able to maintain that over such a long period of time.
The club here is lucky enough to host so many feature races, and the biggest one of those is the Melbourne Cup, where we've seen some absolute icons of the sport win it over a number of decades. Well, what does the Melbourne Cup mean to you?
It's a special race. Saw my first cup in '68 when Mr. Spot won, and a New South Wales dog, beautiful dog. He jumped off the red box and led all the way, and I've been lucky enough to see everyone since, so no reason for me not to have been here. And seen some outstanding performers, and it's just an iconic race. It's hard to win, hard to make, and you know, it's got that prestige and that history connected to it that everybody in the sport wants to win it if they possibly can. And I've seen some marvellous cups. Probably the best was 215, and the battle between Dinah Double One and Fernando Bale. I was lucky enough to stand next to the late Paul Wheeler that night and watch the race with him. And I think Jan will agree with me that Paul was probably hoping that Fernando would have been the winner, but wasn't too shabby. He had the Quinella, didn't he?
Into the straight, Fernando Bale first behind. Dinah Double One closes. Dinah Double One maybe got Fernando Bale on the line in the cup.
Been a great race, won by some just outstanding greyhounds, and you have to be a really outstanding greyhound to win it.
Now, the natural question to ask people is, who do you think the best greyhound is that you've ever seen? Now, we always get similar answers for that. So what I want to find out, who's your favourite dog that you've seen over the years of your involvement in the sport?
I've got a few favourites. I can't stick to one. My first real favourite was Zoom Top. The best and most versatile greyhound I've ever seen race. Saw her win here at Sandown Park on a couple of occasions, a couple of feature races. Saw her win a feature race at Olympic Park, and I used to listen to her race on my Stromberg Carlson valve radio that my grandfather gave me, and I'd listen on a Saturday night to 2GB, and the race scores were Johnny Tapp and Ray Warren, and I'd hear Zoom Top win. She had 68 wins, won the equivalent of $1 million in prize money. Two favourites here, two sprinters. Gold Grotto won the 72 Melbourne Cup. He was a beautiful fawn dog, just owned Sandown Park. He was a real track specialist here, trained by Eddie Tucker, a terrific trainer. He was a wonderful dog. And Half Your Luck was a real favourite of mine. I've still not seen a better box dog than Half Your Luck. He won the 73 Australian Cup. He packed him to the rafters here one night in a match race where he beat New Mariner, who was a Melbourne Cup winner, in a match race. And Eddie Tucker trained Half Your Luck, beautiful black and white dog. And very uniquely, Jason, he won 3 courses on an afternoon at Tatura, and was in a maiden that night at Bendigo and got home in the race. So he was a fantastic dog, Half Your Luck. So they were really 3 special dogs, and I had a real soft spot for Liz Reen. she's probably my favourite stayer of all time, just in front of Bold Truce, who was mighty to watch as well.
We're speaking about a lot of superstar greyhounds, superstar trainers as well, and one thing that a lot of people probably don't know much about your background is you training greyhounds yourself. Talk us through the credentials and experience you had through that.
Yeah, I had an inkling. I yearned to train them at some stage. I had been fairly involved with some footy administration for a period of time, and they run parallel with my involvement with the greyhounds. And anyway, I just desperately wanted to train, so got a couple of kennels built, and away we went. I was very lucky. I had my mentor was Bob Douglas, and nobody knows greyhound racing or training better than Bob, and supported by his wife Faye, and I used to drive him mad. He lived over at Huntingdale, not far from me, and he mentored me, and we had a lot of fun. Probably won 60 or 70 races over the years. Only a 2-dog kennel, was working full time, but I loved every minute of it. It's hard work. I admire greyhound trainers. It's 7 days a week, and they really work hard at their craft, and it's not easy. You know, you've got to look after the greyhounds, and some trainers look after them better than they look after everything else. There's no doubt about that. But I really enjoyed the training phase, and I'd raced them since the 70s. 1970, I think, was the first greyhound my brother and I raced, and my brother's been involved in every dog we've been involved in since. So still racing them now. In fact, getting a lot of fun out of the mighty little Bagman, who's been racing very well for us here at Sandown Park.
You raise a good point. I mean, knowing you for a number of years now, you've had some ownership experiences, and we used to half make fun of a greyhound called Pingu, who was just a battler, but certainly a very honest dog. But now you're lucky enough to be involved in Bagman, is doing some great things.
Yeah, it's look, that involvement's terrific, whether it's a big syndicate or 4 or 5 people. And as I say, I always had my brother involved in it, because we've had the similar interest in the greyhound racing all that time. But as you say, racing them, that's what people love to do, and you know, they get a lot of joy out of it. And you know, it's that family aspect to it as well comes into play, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun, isn't it? Always has been.
Yeah, indeed. And you mentioned the experiences with your brother, and I'm sure that's gone for decades and decades, and you've mentioned the Wheelers as well. You've got some really good friends in this sport. I know you speak frequently with Johnny Brash as well, who are some of the familiar names of which you're so close with, and you credit for where you are now in the sport.
Well, that's probably the most important aspect for me, has been greyhound race, who I've been able to meet and who I class as very good friends of mine in all states. I've got some overseas friends as well. It's taken me to places I never thought I'd get to, and look, in the media itself, blokes like the Hawk and Matty Hill. I knew him as a 16-year-old kid when he was working at Olympic Park, and took him to the coursing to call, and Paul Ambrosoli, and all sorts of names, Peter O'Neill, and all the race callers right throughout. Dogsy Dolan's another one that comes to mind, Timmy Newbold, a host of them. I've probably left some out, but every state's got wonderful people, and I'm lucky to have friends right throughout the country. Journos, you know, Gerard Guthrie, the fantastic journo.
The man you call Pigeon, I think, Jeff Collison.
Jeff Collison, the Doyen Pigeon in New South Wales, just a fantastic guy. And the guys I work with at Sky, you know, Mickey Radley and all those guys, Mark Duclos, and early doors, Darren Flindell was with us. You know, to see where Darren Flindell and Matty Hill have got to in their careers is just fantastic. And I think Sandown's been a great place for careers of people, and you're an example of that, Jace, and the people you work with here. They've gone on to some really, really great jobs, and I'm proud of that fact at Sandown, that our staff look after the participants as much as they possibly can, and it's a hallmark of this club, isn't it?
Brandon, we've spoken about your role here at Sandown and your progression over the years, but you've also had some roles outside of the club, and that being with AGRA, currently known as Greyhound Clubs Australia, and also Greyhounds Australasia, who look after DNA and naming and whatnot. So it's been a fair journey outside of the club too.
Yes, I got an opportunity to be the CEO and produce a stud book, and very much enjoyed it. Naming of the dogs is a very interesting pastime.
You get some rippers come through, I'm sure.
We do.
And then what about AGRA, as I said, now known as Greyhound Clubs Australia? What was sort of the background behind getting involved there?
Well, I suggested to AGRA, firstly, we expand the Hall of Fame to the great dogs, the Chief Havocs and the Black Tops and the Zoom Tops that weren't in it, and sort of got some involvement with them there. And I complained at one of our annual meetings that we weren't getting enough publicity and we needed to ramp that up, and they duly turned around and said, well, you can do the job. So I won the publicity job and inversely invented it, but yeah, did it for a long time, over 20 years, and have handed it to Brendan Ryan now, who's doing a sterling job from down in Tasmania. So it's very easy to get a job, Jace. You just got to suggest it sometimes.
Yeah, you do. And look, anyone who's got a passion for the sport and involved in some sort of professional capacity, they've all got loves jobs, don't we? You've had plenty of those. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
Amazing what you end up doing when you've got a love for the game, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I still, they won't let me retire. I still do a Sandown preview with John Brash to Brisbane Radio and to my good mate David Short in Perth on a Thursday. So still going around, you know. Retirement certainly isn't that far away, surely, from the media.
Let's talk about your achievements and awards of recent years. You were a winner of the Ken Carr Medal here in Victoria and also recently inducted into the Greyhound Clubs Australia Hall of Fame. What does it mean to have that recognition after such decades and passion and love for the game?
Well, I don't think anybody's looking for, you know, to win awards or to be recognised in that way. So it meant a great deal to me, particularly the Hall of Fame. Had been an important part of my life, involved in it in both at state level and nationally, and it was a well-kept secret, I can tell you that, because I'd been very much involved in the people and the greyhounds that are inducted. So I was really shocked, but it was a great shock that night in Melbourne to join Smokey and Eddie Caruana, great friends of mine, both. To be inducted with those two was fantastic, and yeah, the Ken Carr Medal's very special. I knew Ken, great administrator here in Victoria, and I was on the panel that conceived the name. I think the Hawk come up with it. Ronnie Hawkswell said, why don't we call it the Ken Carr Medal, and it took off from there, but been won by some absolutely outstanding people, so it's lovely to be part of that.
And of course, Ronnie, a winner of the Ken Carr himself, going back almost 10 years, and you still hold a spot on some panels as well. It's not like that's fallen by the wayside. No,
still involved with both the AGRA Hall of Fame and here in Victoria as well. So yeah, very passionate about. We always have to get that right, and with a lot of experience and some great people that are on the panels, I think we probably get it right each time.
Speaking about AGRA and GCA, of course, they are the body sort of responsible for constructing the Nationals, which we're building up to now in the latter part of 2025. What's your stance on the Nationals? Because there's been some people critical of it in recent years. To me, it's a series that I've got a lot of affection for.
Yep.
What's your stance on the way it looks and what it has been in the past too?
Well, I'm similar to you, Jace. I think it's very unique. It holds its place. Sure, it's not the prize money levels that it might have once been as up against the other races, but I don't think the owners and trainers expect it to be. I think it still holds its place as a representing your state, and yeah, look, they just want to be involved in it, and we've changed it. The wild card's been a good innovation. The rankings determine that, and yeah, look, I think it'll always hold its place, but you know, can't be compared with the sort of prize money you can win if you win a Phoenix or a Melbourne Cup or an Easter egg or a Brisbane Cup, but I don't think it's supposed to be that. And it's a great thing to go to, the camaraderie and the joining of the people from every state.
Because it's the one opportunity every year where all the administrators get together,
Absolutely.
where it's pretty hard to be on the same same page in any jurisdiction in Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I really enjoy it immensely. I've been going since '96. Saw my first national sprint here at Sandown when Princess Kerry beat two outstanding dogs, Palatinas, and second stage here at Sandown. Back in '73, she was a wonderful little sprinter from Warrnambool. So I'm very affiliated with it, and I enjoy it immensely. And catching up with the people is probably the best part.
And you would have seen some different concepts as well over the years, and that's what's really important, I think, for a sport like ours, which most of the time is the same. You still need to have some sort of interest. We've seen some introductions of races like the Shootout, which you would have been a part of, the Launching Pad, Speed Star, the Phoenix. It's really important for the sport to keep inventing new things.
Yeah, I think our administrators and clubs have been very innovative in the races that they've come up with over the years, and they're special races now. All of them have found their place, haven't they? And are always won by some pretty good dogs, because there's never an end to the outstanding performers that come through.
And Brownie, just before we wrap up the chat, what's been more enjoyable for you, greyhound racing or your beloved St Kilda Footy Club?
Well, for All Saints supporters, it's been a tough road. I always say I was lucky enough to be in the crowd at the 1966 Grand Final, because we haven't won one since, and I'm not sure there's one coming any time in the future. So greyhound racing has been much more enjoyable than following the Saints, Jose.
Well, Brownie, you're a legend, mate, and I'm lucky enough to call you a good mate of mine, mate, so thanks for joining us today.
Been a pleasure, Jose. Thanks, mate.